गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Let us read verse 13. Shri Bhagavanuvāca Adveshta sarvabhūtānām Maitra karuna evaca Nirmamo nirahankaraha Samadukha sukakshami Santushta satatam yogi Yatatma drudha nishchayaha Mayyarpita mano buddhihi Yo madbhaktas same priyaha Santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma drudhanishchayaha. First of all, we gather information which we do not know about, and then we interact with that information either to accept or to reject. For example, we see the TV advertisements. So we gather information. Then we interact that this is required or this is not required. And that interaction develops a kind of understanding about that product. And if we are convinced that it is required, then we will put efforts to get it. If we are convinced that it is not required, we do not put efforts to get it. If this is clear, in the same manner, we have gathered information that we are body, shariram adya khalu dharma sadhanam. Then we have gathered information Prano brahmeti vyajanat Pranadeva kalvimani bhutani jayante Pranena jatani jivanti. So we keep on adding information, and then we are the jiva, the soul, doing good or bad karma, and thereafter the last thing, we are the absolute reality wherein neither ignorance nor karma nor the limitations of the body etc. have any meaning. So we have thus gathered information. After having gathered information, now there will be something which will be accepted by us depending upon our swabhava. See, so many products are advertised. We don't interact with all the products the same way. Why? Because our makeup is different. In the same manner, what is said about us, whether we are a body or we are the jiva or we are the Parabrahma Paramatma, once this sorting out takes place, then we come to a point of nishchaya. Nishchaya, conviction. And if our nishchaya, conviction is firm, that conviction or the firmness in the conviction will decide our spiritual practice. See? If we are convinced that unless we control our Prakriti, the 5 koshas, we will not be able to progress. Once we are convinced, then we will work on that. Dridhanishchaya. Second thing, when we are convinced that the study of the scriptures, Vedas, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita is essential, then we will start studying them sincerely. In the same manner, when we are convinced that there cannot be any possibility of ourselves being the body or the jiva, then the question comes, the third option is we are Parabrahma Paramatma. Now if this Dridhanishchaya, Atma Vishaya, Atma Tattva Vishaya, once this firm conviction is there, thereafter all our spiritual practice will be to come to this conclusion. And when this happens, then a Nachiket is born. So when he asks a question to his teacher, Yamaraj, Anyatra dharmat, go beyond the jiva bhava. Anyatra asmat krutat, go beyond the prakriti. Prakriti is karya karanatmika. Then anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, go beyond the scheme of spiritual practice so that we can achieve realization. How many lives it will take for me to realize? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan man prapadyate. So many lives, yes. My God. See? So when these 3 things are discarded, then our question is answered by the teacher. न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So अजः नित्यः शाश्वतः पुराणः, this unborn, eternal, ever the same, unchanging reality is the ultimate truth. So Yatatma Dridhanishchayaha, he who has got this Dridhanishchaya, firm conviction, he cannot be corrupted by any temptations of the gains as a result of spiritual practice. See, corruption through money, corruption through indulgence, and corruption through the various siddhis that we gain as a result of the yoga abhyas is the corruption only. Qualitative, there is no difference. It is something like, whether millions of dollars are eaten away by the Prime Minister or few hundred rupees are taken by a clerk, or a government servant goes to the office and doesn't work. All of them fall in the category of the corrupt practices. So, Dridhanishchayaha, firm conviction. Then such a person will never be tempted, pulled away by the various kind of spiritual practices, wherein these kinds of temptations are, if you do this thing, you will go to heaven, you will go here, you will go, nothing of that sort. Therefore, santushtaha sadatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayaha. Now, once this is firm conviction, what will happen? Mai arpita manobuddhi. Now his mind and intellect is already totally, completely surrendered to the Lord. And who is that Lord? None other than himself. Means what? At present, where is our mind and intellect arpita? Arpita means offered. Like Brahmarpanam arpitam. So where our mind and intellect is offered, Our mind and intellect is offered in the duality, in the artha, kama and the dharma. So we will be constantly struggling in the relative world. And when we offer our mind and intellect to the absolute, they disappear. And when they disappear, the notion that I, the devotee, is separate from the Lord, this notion disappears, because this notion is supported only as long as the mind and the intellect are kept alive. Therefore, Mai Arpita Mano Buddhihi. So, Sankalpatmakam Manaha, various kinds of Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Observe these things very, very coolly. Sometimes you feel, I should do no meditation. And you go and sit. And that day is the worst kind of day that you have ever come across in your life. Let the things happen in a very smooth manner. So, manaha sankalpa vikalpatmakam. No sankalpa, no vikalpa. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. See? Because now the mind is not creating duality. When the mind is not creating duality, everything is Paramatma. Mai arpita manaha buddhi. Buddhi is adhyavasaya lakshana. Adhyavasaya lakshana is of the nature of decision making faculty. Now the decision is already made. Drudha nishchayaha. What is the decision? Decision is that there is but one non-dual reality. Now see what happens. The other day I was in some place and they say, Swamiji, today Bhagwan is coming in our house, so we are happy you are also here. I said, all right. I could understand what they are talking. So when you don't understand, you should gracefully keep silent as if you understood. So I did that. You don't know what is Bhagwan is coming means what. So at about 10 o'clock or so, one palki came. And palki came in a car. So in a car they sat, and there a small miniature. This happened in US, I am telling. So 3-4 cars, and in the first car a palki came, and there Bhagwan Narayana, and then everything, all the things that came, and then there are various kinds of marking. They put on marking all their whole body like it is a Muharram. So like that they came. And afterward they got the God inside. And then Puja Poti was going on. And there I was told by the host, Swamiji, we will be asking you to speak, but please do not, I know this is wrong, I am telling you, but I am telling you. Understand? Please do not bring Shiva, Ganesh ji, etc. in your talk, because we are Vaishnavas. See? I said, Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Now see, because I am the follower of Lord Vishnu. Therefore Shiva and his whole family, Ganesh is the child of Shiva. So the whole family is boycotted. You cannot do that. Why this happens? Because there is no clarity. On the contrary, if you have come to this point, that there is but one reality, you call it by any name. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. They say this thing, but they don't practice. Similarly, let the good thoughts come to us from all sides. And which is all side? Only our side, because we are all. Therefore, adhyavasaya lakshana buddhi. Now there is a firm decision already made. There is but one reality. And therefore, it doesn't matter what you call and what others call. It makes no difference. So, such a buddhi te mai eva arpite sthapite yasya sannyasinaha. So that sannyasi who has thus fully decided about this non-dual reality, therefore there is no sankalpa vikalpa in his mind, because he is drudha nishchayaha, he is fully, firmly convinced about the non-dual reality. Although he does not have the experience at this stage, such a person, mad bhaktaha same priyaha, such a devotee is dear to me. Mad bhaktaha same priyaha, he is extremely dear to me. Now see, this is the devotee of the Lord. Now what is done in this verse, the mind is non-reactionary and the mind is totally surrender in the conviction of the non-dual reality. Two things. He is my devotee. So, yo mad bhaktaha same priyaha. Bhagavan says here, yaha idrasho mam bhaktaha same priyaha, priyo hi jnaninaha atyartham, aham sacha mama priyaha iti saptame adhyaye suchitam tad iha prapanchate. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan has told, udara sarva evaite jnani tu atmaiva me matam, priyo hi jnaninaha atyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. All devotees are good. Which are all devotees? Artho, Jidnyasur, Artharthi, Udara Sarva Evaite. As regard the Jnani is concerned, he is my Atma. Jnani tu Atma eva me matam. And Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. And everybody loves his Atma. And therefore, the love of the Lord for such a devotee is not a love born out of compassion, tesham aham samudharta, no, I'll come and he is one with me, and that is the supreme love. Now, having said this, so what is said in the 7th chapter, that the Jnani Bhakta is the best one among all. Now, how this Jnani Bhakta is the best among all, this is explained in the 12th chapter. See what Bhagavan Shankara says, Saptame adhyaye suchitam tad iha prapanchate. Prapanchate, expanded. Prapancha means expansion. Pachi vistare is the dhatu. Like the lion is called as Panchanana. So pancha there doesn't mean 5. Pachi vistare. When the lion opens the mouth, it is a huge one, not a small one like a poultry. No, it's a huge one. It can go and eat away the things. So, prapanchate, it is expanded. What is said in the 7th chapter. Now continuing the second aspect. Yasman no dvijate loko lokano dvijate chayaha harsha marsha bhayo dvegaihi mukto yasya cha me priyaha. So, in the 13th and the 14th verse, the composition of my devotee was explained. What is his composition? Adveshta sarva bhutana maitra karune vacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sugakshami santushta satatam yogi jatatma drudha nishchayaha mai arpita mano buddhi yo mad bhakta same priya. That is the composition. Now this composition is also seen in a stone. Santushtaha satatam yogi never changes the posture. So is Bhagavan talking about a dead thing or what? So here in the 15th verse, Bhagavan says, Yasmat sanyasinaha na udvijate na udvegam gacchati na santapyate na sankshubhyate lokaha. See? If we are the real devotee of the Lord, and who is devotee? Not the devotee with a different makeup. You will not see anywhere in the whole Bhagavad Gita the makeup of a devotee. Whether it is a U-turn, or it is exclamation, or it is the running tracks, none of these. What type of clothes, what type of chandan, what type of malas. See, this must go deep in our understanding, friends. Then only the scriptures are becoming meaningful. Now, this does not mean that we impose our views on others. No. Others are perfectly alright, very good. But as regard our understanding is concerned, there is no compromise. So what is the lifestyle of such a person when he moves among the people? He is not only in one place. Because if you see a stone and apply this whole thing is applied to a stone, a rock. So he is not like that. Then yasma sanyasinaha na udvijate na udvega gacchati na santapyate na sankshubhyate, means that because of whom lokaha, nobody is disturbed, whose presence does not create irritation and discomfortable feeling for anybody. See? Many times it happens, Such people, of course, they are mentally gone, therefore it happens. It is not their fault, but if we are following the spiritual path, we should become aware. What is that awareness? We must be aware about where we are required, where we are not required. First. Second thing, are we required to give the comment and suggestion or not? Third thing, do we get involved with everything and everybody at every moment? When this is not taken care of, people get disturbed and agitated by our presence. Yasmanno dvijate lokaha. Now such people are lonely in the crowds. They are nobody. Because their very presence is so irritating. And you will see one of the qualities of such people. They are always coming in the forefront by dashing and crushing everyone. Because if they don't do this, their presence cannot be felt by others. If you have seen or not, you may see sometime, there is one kind of, mental disorder wherein the body growth and the mental growth doesn't go parallel. Now such people, such children, they are very bold in the wrong place. Where other people are not able to, they will go straight away. So this spastic kind of mental attitude is responsible for such an expression. But my devotee, yasman no dvijate lokaha, he because of whom nobody is disturbed. Yasman no dvijate lokaha. Now let us find out why the people get disturbed by our presence. The first thing is our disposition. How are we? Clean, neat, always properly dressed, always how we talk. I remember long time back, maybe in 50s or so, I came across one military person. And he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I do nothing. I go to school." "So what you want to become?" I said, "You tell me, that I will become." He said, "Whatever you become, remember two things." He was some military officer somewhere, and I still remember these two things, what he told me that time, in early 50s. He said, how you dress and how you address makes all the difference in your life. How beautiful it is. So, yasmano dvijate lokaha. Why people are disturbed by us? Because of this. Now the second thing. People are disturbed by us because we get involved exactly where we are not required. I'll tell you one example about this. There is one lady who one day came and asked me, "Swamiji, you please tell me why nobody wants to talk to me." Very crying. When I talk to the people on phone, they put down the phone. And it has gone to such an extent that I hear on the phone, the child says, "Mummy, so-and-so's phone has come." So from there the mummy shouts, "Tell her I am not at home, I am not going to come till evening." And I hear that. So why this happens? Why people avoid me? I said, if you want to know sincerely, if you do not go the wrong way, then I will tell you. "Yes, sir, you tell me." I said, you have got one habit. What is that? To make yourself audible to others, you increase your pitch and do not allow anybody else to talk. Only you have to talk, others have to listen. I said, your husband and children have no choice, but others have choice. And therefore you feel lonely. And why this happens? Because we are so lost in our own life. Therefore a devotee is one who has come out of these limitations. And if he has a theme, it is only the divine theme. So yasman no dvijate lokaha, then lokan no dvijate chayaha, the second thing. Tatha lokan na udvijate chayaha. Similarly, he who doesn't get disturbed by the presence or the absence of the people around. This also happens, In Udiya Baba's ashram, I read in his book, and this kind of people are in every ashram. There is not a single ashram where such people are not there. There was one person, and he was such a nuisance. Everybody in that ashram used to be disgusted. He will fight with everybody, he will create mess and everything. And people go to the ashram for doing sadhana, and he has been appointed by the Lord to make the people do sadhana. So he was there. One day, 3-4 good devotees, sincere seekers, they went to Baba and said, "Sir, I know you don't like complaints, but just to bring to your notice. What is that? Such and such person, everybody is fed up of him. If that person goes from the ashram, there will be totally different atmosphere in the whole ashram." He said, "Yes. You know why you people all are here in this ashram? Because of me. I myself will go away. So there won't be any problem, because I am the root cause of the whole problem." And then he said, that man has taken it, that this is his place. I have never taken this is my place. So he has become the owner. And therefore he behaves like that. And as regard my understanding is, because of him, none of you will get attached to this place. And because of him, if you don't get attached to this place, he is your great well-wisher. Because what the Guru does? Leaves your attachment. So he is your Guru. Go and do namaskar to him. See? He who doesn't get disturbed, udvega, santapyate, because of anybody in this world. So, yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chayaha. And harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegaihi, muktaha. And he who is free from, again, udvega means what? Attack. Udvega means attack. Ut means above. Vega means a pull. Like a hysteria. So he who is not having a hysteric lifestyle. And because of the harsha, amarsha, bhaja, udvega, 4 things are gone. Now what are these 4 things? Harsha, amarsha, bhaja, udvega. Bhagavan Shankara explains. Harshaha, priyalabhe antakkarnasya utkarshaha, romanchana, ashurpatadi lingaha. When harsha, extreme happiness happens, then antakkarnasya priyalabhe utkarshaha. Whatever we wanted, we get it, and then we are so happy. As a result of which, there may be crying, there may be romancha, horripilation, and many people, roll on the floor. You must have seen in the TV, when somebody wins a match, they will throw the racket here and there, and then like a mad, they will kiss the ground, and harsha. And the other person who loses is looking down. So, harsha, priyalabhi, antakkarnasya utkarshaha. Then amarsha. Amarsha is asahishnutā. So, asahishnutā means non-tolerance or intolerance. So, he who is free from intolerance. Tolerance is the most important quality of every seeker. We have to tolerate in this world. This instruction was given again by Bhagavan in the 2nd chapter. And there the logic was given. What was the logic? Matra sparashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityaha tan titikshasva bharat. You have to tolerate. You have to go through. There is no way out. So tan titikshasva, here also amarshaha asahishnuta. He who is free from this disease of intolerance. Now, bhayam. Bhaya is fear. Now, we have got fear for many, many things. And fear is born out of 2 reasons. Reason number 1, when we have accepted ourselves to be a limited being, there is bound to be a fear. This is how the minorities in any community is well united. See? There is no India association in India. You go outside India, there are many India associations. There is no Telugu association in Andhra. If you go to USA, there are 2-3 Telugu associations. There is no Kerala Samaj in Kerala, but outside, even in Bombay, there will be Kerala Samajam. So whenever one falls in the category of finite existence or minority, the fear comes up. And because of the fear, people get united. See? So, like we can see here, in our country, Biharis, when they go out of Bihar, they are working so hard, very sincerely. The moment they enter Chhapra, everything changes because they are in majority. Therefore, fear comes because of this. Now, second reason why fear comes. Fear comes because of this sense of limitation, and this sense of limitation creates a sense of otherness. So when the sense of otherness is there, dvitiyartvai bhayam bhavati. Because of the sense of otherness, the fear is bound to be. Now he who is one with the Supreme Lord, he who has dhrudha nishchayaha, no doubt, ananya chintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So that yogakshema is freedom from fear. He who has yogakshema, there is no fear of extinction or deception or loss, etc. So, harsha, amarsha and bhayam, trasa, udvegaha, udvignata, taihi muktayaha, sacha me priyaha. So, udvega, udvignata. Udvignata is frustration. We get frustrated in our life when we have come to a point where we have understood that I am unfit for something. Like on the seat of meditation, people get frustrated. So many years I have been doing, but nothing has happened. One person asked me this question. I have been doing meditation for so many years, but nothing has happened. I said, congratulations. You don't make fun of me, Swamiji. I said, no, I am very seriously telling you. What is that? If something happens, that is not realization. I don't know what you are telling me. I said, if something has happened, when it happened? On 31st of February. Very good. So when the 32nd February comes, it will disappear. See? We have these funny kind of notions that something is going to happen. You know where happens something? When vibhutis start taking place. You do the Sayyama, Surye Sayyamanat, Bhuvana, Jnanam. You do the Sayyama on the Surya, and then there are Chaturdashu Bhuvanani, and there is a Naraka, and there is a Swarga, and there are these lokas and that lokas, and you go here and you go there. And one of my friend, he came, he said, Swamiji, aapka to kaam ho gaya. So what happened? Do you remember you came with me? I said, yes, I came. Do you know that Mahatma Ji? Yes. You know what he did to you? I said, I was with everybody in front of you. No. What? He gave you peda by his hand. He never gives anybody. I have not seen him giving anybody. And not only one, he gave 3. I said, there was a traffic jam. He said, aapka kya kaam ho gaya, Swamiji? Bas aap tar gaye. I said, but I am not in water anywhere. Fir tar gaye. Dekho. Now I just want, mera kaam kab ho jayega? See? I just can't understand what we want. Therefore, udvegaha. And then we have got some kind of imagination. This thing will happen, that thing will happen. I had the vision of God. And then that day is celebrated as the Vision of God Day. See, every moment, nothing but the God alone is seen. There is no drishya, drashta, bheda. It is the same reality. Therefore, udvega, there is no udvega. And therefore, a devotee is never frustrated. This is the meaning. The moment you get frustrated, you understand you are going the wrong way. You are victimized by your mind. Never, never support your frustration. So this whole verse talks about what? Frustration. Yasman no dvijate lokaha. The world is not frustrated because of him. Lokan no dvijate jayaha. He is not frustrated because of the world. Why? Because he is not frustrated. Muktaha. Such a non-frustrated devotee is my dear one. There is one person who comes for satsang in Bombay. Probably has been over-drugged or whatever it is. I feel so bad for him. He comes and sits and just a blank look and sits through the whole thing. And every time he comes to do namaskar, only one thing he asks. Swami ji, मैं दीवाना ना बन जाऊं, मुझे आप संभाल लेना. As if it has gone fixed in his thought. मैं दीवाना ना बन जाऊं, मुझे संभाल लेना. This kind of frustration is not the sign of devotion. A devotee is never frustrated. Like Samartha Ramdas Swami says, Ami kaya kunache khatore to Rama mala detore. That firm abidance in the Lord never allows one to become frustrated. Therefore, such a bhakta, devotee is my dear. Now, the next one, anapeksha shuchir dakshaha udasino gatavyathaha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha. Now, anapekshaha dehendriya vishaya sambandhadishu apeksha vishayeshu anapekshaha nispruhaha. Anapekshaha means he who is having zero level of expectations from the people and the things in this world. We have expectation from the people. Who are the people? Deha sambandha. Who are the Deha sambandha? Mother, father, brother, sister, in-laws, outlaws, children. And such parents are disturbed all the time. They have got only one theme, nothing else. So, this devotee doesn't have any expectation from anybody. Similarly, no expectation from any object. Now, what is the expectation from the object? This is very subtle thought, be attentive. Expectation from the object means what? The wrong notion that any object in this world is a source of happiness. Any object in this world, unless I get it, I will not be happy. And the cause of my misery is because I don't have that object. These kind of expectations from any object in this world is totally absent. Now you will see in the houses, the fighting goes on between husband and wife and all that. On the basis of this, the wife thinks, if we get this thing, it will be so nice, but you don't have any aesthetic sense. You're all the time buried with your work. Then I have to take care of office, home. You don't bother about home, what happens. Do I bother you about office? And then we want to get that, we want to get this, and keep on accumulating objects to such an extent. Then you have to find out where should we stay now. Now what is happening? Apeksha, expectation. That addition of the things in the house is the source of prosperity and a happy house. Anapekshaha. So, dehendriya vishaya sambandhadishu apeksha vishayeshu anapeksha nispruhaha. No expectation. Then shuchihi. Shuchihi what? Bahyena abhyantarena cha shauchena sampannaha. Shuchi means shaucha. Shaucha means external and inner purity, both. This is one thing, somehow or the other, has been totally lost from our country. They are all sincere. There is no doubt about sincerity, their inner purity, but external mess. So, Shaucha means external purity and cleanliness without compromising the inner purity and cleanliness. Both are required in life. See, there are two types of paths which I told you. One is the path which can be followed by majority. The path of devotion, the path of karma, the path of knowledge, etc. There is another path of avadhut, where there is no teaching, where there is no kind of instruction given to the student as we are studying here Bhagavad Gita. No. The other day, one person told me, Swamiji, do you know anything about Shirdi Sai Baba? I said, whatever I read here and there, I will tell you, you may not be knowing. I said, okay, tell. What is that? Shirdi Sai Baba has never brushed in his life. Now, this is what we have seen or heard about him. Now, what we can learn from that? See? We cannot learn from that anything. As I told you last time, I met one Avadhut lady, Amma. She also never used to take bath, never brushes and all that, but she has conquered the Prakriti. And as a result, from her body, no dirty smell will come. Because she was a born yogi. Therefore, Shuchihi, a devotee of the Lord, becomes an ideal for the people to follow. External purity and internal purity. So, external purity is maintaining cleanliness, immaculate cleanliness. Internal purity is maintaining all the time the divine theme in our mind. No undivine theme. So, Shauchena Sampannaha. Then Dakshaha. Now, this is another very important quality. Pratyutpanneshu kareshu sadhyaha yathavat pratipattum samarthaha. Whatever situation comes in front of him, he is able to tackle that situation with effectiveness and perfection. He is called as Dakshaha. That means he is not mechanically proficient. When you do the same job again and again, you become proficient. But who is this Dakshaha? This devotee is so alert, so quiet, and therefore he is able to understand the situation in a best manner and able to interact in such a manner that the best results come out. Dakshaha. Now see, when it is said Dakshaha, therefore means what? He is not having the influence of pramada. What is pramada? Pramada is the habit of committing the same mistake again and again. Pramada. He is daksha. No question of committing any mistake as regards his spiritual practice is concerned. So, dakshaha pratyutpanneshu kareshu. Whatever job comes in front of him, suddenly. Pratyutpanneshu kareshu means when some situation comes for which nobody was prepared. Pratyutpanneshu kareshu sadhyaha yathavat pratipattum samarthaha. Instantaneously he is able to decide, take and go ahead. The best example I can think of is an efficient driver. One day we were going somewhere. One young boy recently got married, hardly 15 days. So he was driving, I was sitting next to him. In the back seat, there were two, his wife and one more lady who came with me. And we are going on the highway. And our car was a matchbox, Maruti. And he was going, And in one point came such that there was no reason why we are alive. But we still survived. And after that particular situation was over, that lady who came with me from other country just to spend a week or two, when we went home, she was shivering inside the car continuously. That is a shock she could not take. And then after going home, she immediately took the phone, talked to the airline, which is the flight going to Bombay. I want urgently to go. And from there, which is the flight to go back to USA. And she immediately booked the flights, and within 2 hours she packed up to USA. Swamiji, you'll excuse me. I am not behaving properly, but I am not able to take the shock. See how much. Now that boy who has taken, he was so perfect. He was not disturbed, nor I was disturbed. But this lady, what happened? If Daksha, extremely attentive person, will be able to negotiate through the turmoils of life without getting disturbed. So Dakshaha, and such a Daksha person alone can recognize the divine examination. See, we hear in the devotees' lives that God came and spoke to him, and afterwards he has gone. Then this fellow, I don't know, I am such a dumb, I am not recognized God, this thing, that thing. Such stories come in the lives of many Mahatmas, particularly Siddha Purushas. Like in Shirdi Sai Baba's Poti, this story comes. Once somebody wrote him, please come for food, we have got some big function, so you please come. He said, okay, I'll come with 2 boys. And he goes to the right time, right place, in a disguise of a sannyasi and 2 small chelas. He is given food, everything is done, and yet they don't recognize he is the same person whom he has invited. And he was all the time waiting. He has not come, how can it happen? When he is a Mahatma, he should have come. And he is listening everything. And then he writes a letter that I did not expect this thing from you, that I invited you and I hope that you will definitely come and oblige, but you have not come, I am feeling so hurt. Then he says, I had come, this is what you spoke to me, this is what you are complaining, this is the place I sat and ate food, there were 2 boys with me. Oh, that was you! Dakshaha. We are not able to recognize the divine intervention because we are not alert. See, friends, when we are able to see the divine grace in something good that is happening, that doesn't require any grey matter. But when everything goes wrong, in that, if we are able to see the divine grace, then we are daksha, then we are alert. You will see all those events which have happened in our lives. That time one feels as if it is the worst kind of thing that should ever happen to anybody. But that same event has turned our life in such a manner that today what we are is only because of those isolated, the so-called bad events. And when we are able to recognize this at the time of that bad calamity, then we are daksha. Meaning, Kenopanishad, pratibodha viditam matam. Every experience is the manifestation of the divinity. Who can do this? Who is daksha? Other than the Lord, nothing else happens. He alone comes in our life in different disguise. So, anapeksha shuchir dakshaha, then udasinaha. Na kasyachit mitradehe paksham bhajate, yaha sa udasinaha yati. Udasina means what? He who is not biased. Most of the time our life is an expression of biasness. And when the biasness does not come, then those who are expecting, they get extremely disturbed and hurt. I remember when I was taking earlier course, so many people know me here and there, and some of them have joined the course. There used to be one girl, and she joined the course. Before that, for almost 3 years, she was serving me like a mother. I never knew where from the grocery comes, the vegetables are cut, everything is kept on the kitchen, and everything is neat and clean. I never knew who is doing that. I said, it's good, it is happening, why bother? 3 years she served. And then she joined the course. I want to join. I said, you please come. And when the course joined, there are so many students, about 60 or 70 of them. So all students are same. No student was allowed to come to my room by rule. Nobody will come. And then this girl got totally shattered. Swamiji is behaving as if he doesn't know me. And he talks to other people so much. But as regards, we are constantly crying. And after the whole thing was over, then I don't want to talk to you. I said, good. But be happy wherever you are. If you don't talk, it's a good thing. At least I am saved from one calamity. Then time passed. Going from one place to another place. I think I'll go to this ashram, I'll go to that ashram, I'll do this sadhana, I'll do that sadhana. And again then. Swamiji, I don't think I should have gone anywhere. You are the only one who has told us the truth. All others have taken us for a ride. Please forgive me. See? Forgive whom? Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukha kshami. See? Forgive whom? Once we understand this principle, then udasinaha. You are not good to somebody because of any criteria. You are good because that is your nature. See? The goodness without criteria is udasinata. Udasinata doesn't mean frustrated, Udasinaha. What happened? Bhakta ho gaya, ab kya karo? No. Ut asinaha, rising above. Rising above what? Rising above all the biasness, raga, dvesha, friend and enemy, good and bad. The other day, one boy came, same problems. He has done something, and because of that, he was so frustrated and wanted to commit suicide, and is that finally he came. Swamiji, I want to tell you something. Yes, and he told me. I said, all right, very good. Now let us have a cup of tea, okay? Let's go to that restaurant, it is good. This happened outside India. And then we are talking about everything. He said, Swamiji, you are not telling me anything about. I said, why to dig the past and destroy the present? Are you enjoying this wonderful atmosphere, nice cup of tea? Let's enjoy that. But what about that? I said, when I have not spoken one word about it, it simply means you drop it. As regard I am concerned, you are the same for me. Because every vikruti happens only in the prakriti. You are immaculate reality. You may not recognize that, but I know you are that. Then only udasinaha, that is how the great Mahatmas forgive us. Because they are not looking at our upadhi. They are recognizing the divinity. Like Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. When Vivekananda told, Thakur, you are getting too much attached to me, you send a call and all that, I think you are getting attached to me. So what the great master said, look here, my child, you have accepted me out of doubt and suspicion, examination. But I have known you what you are. Therefore, the love of the devotee or the disciple for the Guru is born out of Shraddha. And the love of the Guru for the disciple is not born out of Shraddha. It is born out of this udasinata. That is how it is. Anapekshaha shuchirdakshaha udasinaha. So, udasinaha na kasyachit mitradehe paksham bhajate. He who doesn't have any biasness on account of somebody's friend, somebody's enemy, no. So, saha udasinaha yati, such a well-controlled one is the udasina. And gata vyathaha, gata bhayaha. Now, vyatha means what? This is another important word. Vyatha means what? It is something like this. A father is seeing his own son. And the father is very well established in this world. He is known as a great Mahatma, like the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Or this also happened in the life of Eknath Maharaj. And their sons were going the wrong way at the revolt towards the father. And when they are going wrong way, the father couldn't do anything. So he was seeing the destruction of his own child and he can do nothing. That pain is called as vyatha. See? Gata vyathaha. So, for the devotee, because he has gone beyond nirmamo nirahankaraha. Therefore, everything that happens in the life of a devotee, he does not get that disgusting pain. He takes everything is the divine will. And therefore, he doesn't suffer because of anything, good or bad, that is happening around him. Gata vyathaha. Bhagavan Shankara writes, Gata bhayaha. Vyatha means bhaya. He who doesn't have any fear. But we have already seen that fear. Harsha, amarsha, bhaya, vegahi, muktaha. Therefore here, instead of taking the Gata vyathaha means Gata bhayaha, this interpretation sounds more effective. Vyatha and dukkha, these are two things. There was a Mahatma and he was pretty old. Earlier he used to stand and do kirtan. Then he became old. Then he started sitting and doing kirtan. He is no more now. And when the kirtan was over, 3 hours, 2 hours, and when everybody was gone, then his devotees, friends or whosoever, they helped him get up from that seat. And when he got up from the seat, they found a big blood patch on the seat. So, oh, what happened here? It must be painful. He was probably having piles or something. So he said, Dukkha hai, lekin vyatha nahi. See how beautiful it is. Dukkha is a painful experience. And vyatha is influence of the painful experience on your performance. See? Gata vyathaha. Then sarvarambha parityagi. Now this is another very important topic. Sarvarambha parityagi arabhyati iti arambhaha iha amutra phala bhogarthani kamahetuni karmani sarvarambhaha. What is the meaning of sarvarambha? All the undertakings which are meant for fulfillment of the desires belonging to this world or the other world. See? Arabhyate iti arambhaha. All undertakings. For what? Kamahetuni. For this purpose. What is the purpose? Iha amutra phala bhogarthani. For the attainment of, fulfillment of the desires in this world and the other world. Such karmas, such activities, undertakings are called as sarvarambha. Tan parityaktam shilam asya. He who has given all these kinds of activity which are desire prompted activities. Sarvarambha parityagi therefore means what? He who does not have anything to be achieved or done in this world. See? That is why at this point I am emphasizing again and again. Bhagavan very clearly tells, whatever is to be done in this world, you don't worry, I will take care. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanava dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyam. Then what we have to do? Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasade. Look after yourself. So, sarvarambha parityagi tan parityaktam shilam asya iti sarvarambha parityagi yo mad bhaktaha same priyaha. Such a devotee of mine is extremely dear to me. He is dear to me. Therefore, through him the Lord functions. See, this is another point which must become our own experience or knowledge. Like, when my mind is preoccupied with something, and if anybody comes and meets me, what will be my interaction? My interaction will be with anybody. Is this body in any way helpful to the project which is in my mind? If that person is not helpful, delete. Therefore, if we really want to get the spiritual guidance, always go to a Mahatma who doesn't have any project in his head. Such Mahatmas will behave very rudely. They may not have the sophistication because they don't want anything, and they alone can think of our welfare. That is why it is so necessary. Sarvarambha parityagi. In this world we have come only for one purpose, and that purpose is to know the truth. And beyond that there is nothing important. Such is my devotee who is dear to me. So, see, each and every word, if you go on contemplating again and again and observe, for example, do you remember I used to tell you one instruction during meditation? What was the first instruction? You are Mr. Nobody. What was the second instruction? You have no plans what you are going to do after meditation. Now you have a simple plan, washing clothes. Innocent plan. See? It is enough. Because the seed of the Arambha is still there. So whenever our mind is carrying any kind of undertaking, project, value, importance, we will never be able to think about the Lord. We will be thinking about that. So if I am having some disease, I will be thinking about the doctor or the medicine. If I am having money problem, I will be thinking about how do I get money, not God. And even if I go to God, Artho Jidnyasu Artharthi, they are also the same thing. Oh Lord, I want money. No, please, no. Somehow you please arrange. No. That's it. Therefore, if we have very clearly understood this, that is, whole world is just without any reason, without any logic, without anything, it is, that's it. And that pure existence is our being. What is there to achieve in this world? I remember, in where it was? Dehradun. That time I was with our Swamiji, and one girl came to take my interview. Maybe afterwards or during that time. And started. How do you like to leave your footprints on this world? Just standard questions. I said, I will not like to leave any footprints in this world because I don't walk in the mud. If you walk in the mud, then only there will be footprints. When the bird flies in the sky, where is the footprint of the birds? As long as we have this notion that we should do such a thing, that after we die, people should be very, very miserable. And when I was born, the world was happy and I was crying. Oh Lord, I want to die in such a manner that people are miserable and I am happy to die. These are all emotional corruption. Don't get carried away by that. It is very good. We should sing and have the clapping going on. Don't give up. You hold on to the reality. This I learned from Swami Akhandanji Maharaj. If you hear his Bhagavad, if you hear his Narad Bhakti Sutra, he is nothing but as if consolidated Radha. When you go to the Brahma Sutras, Radha disappeared. Only Paramatma Matra. And in spite of all that, there is only one thing. My nishtha is Advaita. With this you continue in your life. You will never get disturbed by anything. So, Sarvarambha Parityagi. For such a person, there is nothing to be done. He was never in favor of starting anything. I still remember, he told me once, if you have got Advaita Nishtha, you cannot do Dharma Prachar. See? Who can do the Dharma Prachar? He who has got Advaita Nishtha. And then therefore, you see the approach of the Krishna consciousness people. Because they are brought up in that atmosphere at home. So Krishna alone is everything. Everything is mad. So, but once you are established in this non-dual self, all your arambha, all your undertakings come to an end. Such a devotee is dear to me. Now, continuing this thought in the 17th verse, Yo na hrishyati na dveshti, na shochati na kangshati, Shubha Shubha Parityagi, Bhaktiman Yas Same Priyaha. We'll see it next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna'at Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.